Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, guys. Celtic Warband here, and today I am bringing you a 2 vs 2 in Total War Rome 2. This was a pretty epic battle. It came down to the wire, I would say, and pretty exciting, and I'm playing it with my buddy Hamdog CDXX, so I believe he will be uploading his version of the battle soon, so be sure to check that out. But yeah, it was a 2 vs 2. I am playing as Rome, which is a faction that I don't really play that much, but it was a decently low money battle, I would say, and I brought a lot of these Hastati just because they're so cost effective and really sturdy infantry. My buddy Hamdog's playing as Bactria, and then we're facing Pontus and another Roman player. So we'll take a look at the army comps real quick as the battle is underway. See, I think I have like 6 or 8 units of these Hastati here. So they're looking pretty good. And then I've got 4 units of Sociostati. And I believe I have 4 units of Legionaries. That's more of the Sociostati. And I've got 4 units of Triarii, or Triarii. So really sturdy spear unit. And, oh, here we go. And I've got 2 units of gladiators. So they look pretty nice. And I've got my general's bodyguard over on the flank. And I have 4 units of equites. So they're looking pretty good. Very, very cheap cav. I went more for the infantry focus. Looking at Bactria, he's got some Thurio spears, a lot of thorax swordsmen, probably 2, 4, 6, 8 units of them. It looks like he's got 4 units of Thurio spears. And he's got 4 units of Levy pikemen, 4 units of Bactrian hillmen, and 3 units of mercenary Syrian archers. And he has his Bactrian royal cav. And he's got 6 units of Bactrian hillmen, and he's got some citizen cav and Bactrian light horse over on the flank. Looking at the Roman player, really expensive build. He's got 4 units of levies in the front, but then he pretty much went for like Eagle cohort, gold chevron upgrades, and some Triarii, and then some Praetorian cavalry, so like the elite of the elite for the cavalry. He's got his general bodyguard with gold chevron upgrades. Looking at Pontus, he's got a lot of these Pontic swordsmen. He's got a pretty linear build. It's basically just Pontic swordsmen and Eastern archers. That's all he's brought, except for his cav. So if we zoom on over to here, he's got 3 units of the mercenary Scythian horse archers. So they're looking pretty good. And then way over in the trees here, he's got some Cappadocian cavalry, so they're pretty heavily armored, good in melee. And he does have some chariots as well, I think 2 units of them, but I don't see exactly where they are at this point in the battle. But yeah, basically, you know, I'm trying to keep away the Scythian horse archers right now. We'll go ahead and put this on play. I'm just trying to keep them out of the battle, but they continue to come back and harass me. But I definitely see that I am outranged against the Pontus player. I brought no archers at all, so I'm kind of have to play decently aggressive. See all the men marching forwards. I'm bringing my equites right on past the enemy. I was going for the archers of the Roman player because he's kind of got them spread out a bit, a little far from his army. But unfortunately, the Parthian swords actually have Pila, And I did not know this. Plus, he's just gonna shred us right now with the archers. Look at that. Oh, man. Easily wiping out like half of that unit. Ooh, it is not looking good. And yeah, he's completely pulled back. Look at that. I think that that unit broke. That's why we got pulled out of the cinematic view. Yeah, just got destroyed there. So pulling back my cav, they're not going to do me any help over there. And I'm just moving forwards my infantry. But again, taking some pretty heavy fire. Nice, returning fire with my own Pila. And there we go, the Hastati have joined the battle. We'll be able to kind of focus on my battle against Parthia because the Bactrians kind of waited out to see how much damage I can do to Parthia. And the Roman player actually does not engage with me either, so it's kind of a 1v1 right now. You can see the rest of my army moving forwards. Oh, and you can see in the trees here come the scythe chariots. They're gonna be extremely deadly. I actually didn't even notice that he had them until it was too late. Yeah, here they go. Ooh. Oh, just running right through my men. And I can't even get my cav in here to try to combat the Scythian chariots just because of the hail of archer fire. Oh, we've got a couple of the legionaries back here. But yes, over on this flank, I'm actually doing quite well. I've managed to lock up his Cappadocian cavalry and melee with my infantry. So that was quite good, and then I've completely enveloped the Parthian swordsmen on this flank here. You can see that most of them are breaking. Yeah, get some. But you can see the chariots just pulling back and then getting ready for another charge. I'm trying to utilize my Pila a little more effectively. I've got my legionaries into combat as well. Pushing forwards. If we turn on the HUD a little bit, you can see that the Bactrians have moved forwards. And they are about to fire into the Eagle cohort ranks. So we got some Thurio spears on the flanks as well. We may get a good charge here. Oh yeah, nice charge there by the Praetorian cavalry. Wiping out a lot of that unit. Oh, okay, they're all getting up, which is good. How are they doing on this Eagle cohort? Getting a couple kills, but not many. So they're going to kind of skirmish down a little bit more. I've still got my Hastati fighting on this flank as well. But you can just see that the Roman center is just thinning. My Hastati are trying to hold as best as I can, but I believe that the Pontic swordsmen are more elite. I think the Pontic swordsmen kind of match the Thorax swordsmen. Oh yeah, there goes the chariots just riding through my men. And a lot of them retreating right now. And my general is wavering at this point, so it's not looking good for us. The balance of power is in our favor, but we were kind of talking back and forth, and we didn't exactly know why. Yeah, look at this chariot. Let's try to get some action shots here of them going in. Man, these chariots. The lines are so thin. Oh, riding right back through my men. Oh, that is a tough sight to see. I'm trying to lock up this these chariots with what's left of my depleted cav. But yeah, that pretty much breaks my men on this flank. So yeah, I was pretty confident in this battle. I actually told Hamdog that I should be able to overwhelm the Pontic player easily with my amount of heavy infantry. But the Pontic swordsmen held, like, good on them. Even more of them coming in. So let's see what I've got left here and how the Bactrians are doing. They have engaged at this point. You can see that some of the Triarii are actually caught in the center here. Got some Bactrian hillmen on one side and some thorax swordsmen on the other. Oh, big charge by the Praetorian cavalry though. Bactrian hillmen are going to ward them off. Oh, not really, though. Oh. What do we got over here? Oh, he's got the leves in melee, so that's good for him. Ooh, that guy lost his head. Alright, it looks like Hamdog, he realizes that he's going to be outmatched at this point here. So he's pulling back a lot of his forces. I had mixed feelings about this, to be honest, because I felt that he was going to be losing a lot of forces by pulling back all of his men like this. So you can see that he's actually moving back to this little hillside here to try to get a better position. But my Hastati right here, this last unit of Hastati, they are holding back what's left of the Parthians, and I was very proud of these men. They were the true Romans today. But, oh, big charge by the Cappadocian cavalry in the rear of the Hastati there. And I think that will just about break their morale. The general has fallen. All of their comrades have broken off the field. And they will all die here today, unfortunately. The brave men that they are. Yeah, and that pretty much ends Celtic Warband's fight in this battle. You can see that there's still about 10 minutes left. The Roman player and the Parthian player have completely surrounded these two units of thorax swordsmen, but they held long enough for the Bactrian army to do an entire full retreat. Very, very impressive. A lot of brave men in this fight today. Completely surrounded by foes on all sides, yet they still fight on, back to back with their comrades. And I think that's them breaking there. What about the other unit? Yeah, the other unit is broken as well. We'll turn on the HUD and take a look at what's going on here. So the Romans and the Parthians are going to kind of form up, and the Bactrians are going to also form up and kind of make their last stand here. I'd imagine if you were a Bactrian, this would be a very fearful moment for you. just watching, you know, your Roman ally and the army of the Romans get completely destroyed. Now you've got, you know, 2 armies to deal with. Probably not the best day. So he's pulled all of his men back. Let's take a look at what the enemies have left here. So I did, to my credit, I did do quite a bit of damage to the Parthians. So he does have a lot of his cav left at about half strength. The chariots are down to half strength. The general is down to a quarter. And all that's really left is 3 very depleted units of Pontic swordsmen and 3 depleted units of Eastern archers. So not a lot that he has to take in the form of the Eastern faction. And as for Rome, we're looking at some Eagle cohort left. Triarii is pretty healthy, though. And there is some Praetorian cavalry as well that's still alive. 1 unit. So not too bad, not too bad. But you can see there's kind of a little last stand formation coming up here. We've got a lot of the cav for Bactria kind of screening the infantry. He's going to pull back his general, which I think is very, very smart. They're quickly shouting battle cries, trying to get everyone into a formation that's going to be suitable for this last stand. But I'm sure all eyes are on the horizon there, where they see the Romans forming up. And if you look way, way far in the distance there, you can see the last of Celtic Warband's Roman army fleeing the field.
Oh, gods, grant me quiet. How much did I have last night? This is the worst part.
There's the Roman cav with the Cappadocian cav coming over the hillside there.
Worry about them, nothing else. Stand easy.
But we've got some pikes on the flanks. Looks like Bactrian hillmen in the center. Got a pike formation with more hillmen behind. And we've got two units of thorax swordsmen, a Thurio spear, and another thorax swordsman with some archers. So still in Bactria's favor, surprisingly enough. But yes, 7 minutes remaining. The Parthian player is moving over onto the flank. Bactria is responding by moving his archers over to deal with the cav. Actually, it looks like Rome has a couple units of Praetorian cav. Actually, yeah, most of his cav is still alive. Interesting, interesting. Let's zoom in and kind of see what some of the soldiers are saying here.
My honor is my oath to serve.
Well, they're a quiet brood. Why is it every time that I'm trying to talk, they're screaming and shouting over to try to interrupt me all the time, and then as soon as I zoom in and allow them the chance to talk, they've got nothing to say.
Always is, son. Always is.
Sodding weather. You can see the Parthians and the Romans moving forwards as well.
Looks that way. Bastards.
The Parthian general choosing to actually hide behind the Roman lines, though. You can actually see him. He's the one with the bronze shield. Bactrian Royal Cav. We got some Citizen Cav over here. I think I was talking to Hamdog, and I'm like, man, he has nothing left. Just charge in with your Cav. And I think that he does just that. So let's zoom in and take a look. The general's just going to go right for a charge, I think. They did a shield wall. Oh, he's pulling back. There we go. Yep, the general is committed. Citizen Cav is charging in. You can see more of the Cav coming in for the Bactrians. Yeah, just coming around the flanks. Check this out. Excellent, excellent Cav play by Hamdog. He needs to do it quickly, though, because the chariots for Parthia are showing up. But yeah, just decimating what's left of the Parthians here. Or, I'm sorry, what's left of Pontus, not Parthia. I really got a bad habit of mixing up faction names. Yeah, you can see that the Cappadocian cavalry is coming in. 1 unit of Citizen Cav is left to sacrifice to save the general. But the Scythe chariots, they are wavering from the Bactrian light horse that charged in, and they actually both broke, which is excellent. Not completely from the battle. They probably will be back, but just look at all the Cav pouring in against this 1 unit of Citizen Cav here. Such a Cav grind. We got the infantry moving in from behind as well. You got the Bactrians kind of getting some shots off. But yeah, the Parthians have pretty much effectively been wiped off the battlefield. They've got really negligible troops left. More archers coming in. At this point, I was really, when I was talking to Hamdog, I was like, we should really actually move out. You should encircle them now. This Bactrian Citizen Cav is just kind of left them in a clump, and you could actually get all around them, but the Citizen Cav broke just as we were saying that, so we kind of didn't have too much time, but we've got the General for Bactria coming in again. Let's see what he's doing. He's thinking about getting some good charges off on the Romans, or maybe baiting them in. Yeah, you can see the Praetorian Cav is chasing them. Some archer fire coming in as well. Ooh, getting a couple of kills there. Or nope, just looks like wounding a couple, but they're going to stay on their horses. Very nice. Look at this little formation here. Let's try to get a nice little shot of that. It's so pretty. And now they're all gonna move out. And here's where the Romans make a massive mistake. They actually just kind of slog in and engage. There's like no real formations that are forming. He's just charging right headlong into the pikes. Pila being thrown in by the thorax swords. Got more levy pikemen on the flanks here. Looks like the Bactrian hillmen are breaking, but the levy pikes are going to hold on against the Romans. Thorax swords are flanking around. And we've got the Bactrian general over here taking on the Praetorian cavalry. We've got some levy pikemen back here. We got some Syrian archers. The archers are going to kind of make a countercharge into these Scythe chariots. And luckily they break. That was a huge, huge turning point for the battle there. But unfortunately, look, the Romans have just completely been engulfed. The tables have turned. And the Eagle cohort is breaking there. You can see that's pretty much the end of the battle. Victorious for the Bactrians. So excellent, excellent play there. We'll end the replay, take a look at the results. So thanks very much to Hamdog CDXX for playing with me. And thanks very much Jay Mansilla and Chris Delderfield for joining as well. A couple of things that weren't the best in the battle. I should have been a little bit more patient. I definitely thought I had the upper hand, and you can see that a lot of my men just got trashed. But a couple of the things that the enemies did wrong, they didn't really attack together. Parthia really split up his force at the end, and just a couple of decisive charges by the Bactrian cav, and they were done for. And the Roman player at the end, he didn't spread out his forces, he just charged them in one big clump, and the Bactrians, with little infantry, they were still able to encircle the Romans, and that was their defeat. So looking at my force, not really anything to speak of. This unit of Equite getting 204 kills, and this unit of Hastati 232. So that's quite good. Looking at Hamdog, his cav doing quite well, 164, 118. Archers doing well, 105 there. Hillmen, they're pretty garbage, so you'd expect them not to do too well. Levy pikes, not that well. Thorax swords did decent, though. Thurio spears, not so much. So not really many kills for Hamdog, so I think most of it was just breaking. Just getting the troops to break off the battlefield. But Mansilla for the Parthians, doing quite well with his general, and the rest of his Parthian swordsmen doing decent. A lot of those kills were on my men. His archers doing good as well. But look at these chariots. 542 and 577. Chariots are OP in this game. Good call bringing them. And the Roman player, his cav doing okay, and his infantry doing alright, but it was just too small of an army. That's where the whole quantity versus quality thing comes in. I'm sure you guys can debate that in the comments and put what you guys think is the better. I usually try to go with quantity, just because I'd rather have the numbers to try to get that encircle on. The only downside of the quantity is, will your center break before your other troops can get around? But yeah, thanks very much for watching, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed this battle. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe if you'd like to see more Rome 2 content on my channel. And as always, I will see you in the next one.